You know who we are. To my right, I have Yana
Side, and to my left,
Ella Sheba. We're glad that you're tuning in and joining us today. We have a great show for you today.
Yes. So, Sister Mike will be joining in a while, and also we're gonna just give it a minute for sisters to come in, and we're gonna get started. So, if you've seen the flyers, we're gonna be talking about Doula Services. We're gonna be talking about all things dealing with health, mental health, when we're speaking about post and pre-pregnancy. Yes. So, Sister Mike will be on in a minute, and I will say like the post, but it's just only going to be us in the chat. Mm-hmm. Okay.
But we miss you all. How have you been this week, last week? Did you enjoy the brunch? Did you enjoy your Sabbath? Leave some comments for us so we can respond.
Absolutely. All right, so we have some sisters coming in. It says Kanai, which is literally right here in the room.
Oh yeah, she here, y'all. Sis Kanai is in the building. Don't let her. Come on and say hey. We got our other sister, Sis K.
Sis K, come on and say
shalom. Our beautiful sisters are joining us.
All
praises. Shalom.
Get in here, sisters. Yes, we're gonna get started, and we're waiting on Sister Mike.
Shalom, firecracker.
Look at my little here.
Shalom, Sis Katora.
Hey, shalom,
we miss you.
Definitely miss her.
So sweet. Yes.
Sis Katora, you better be resting somewhere. Mm-hmm. Better be resting somewhere. Legs better be
don't make Sis pull out that belt emoji. Yes. Don't make her pull it out, honey.
All praises.
Did you text her and let her know?
Yeah. Just hit her a text real quick.
So we gonna text sis.
Oh, Shalom. Okay, you in the chat. Go ahead and request us, Sister Mike.
Oh, she there?
Yeah, she's in the chat.
Oh, boom. There you go, sis. You're always on point, sis.
All praises. She said,
she waiting on us, sis.
Is there a request? There we go. It just popped up, sis. All right, we're gonna join.
Hit the little the red dot. There we go.
There we go. All right. Approved. There we go.
There.
Shalom, ladies. Peace, love, and light.
Hey, sis.
Shalom. Shalom. There go my girl. I miss y'all too. All praises to the Most High. Let me tell you, it's such a barakah to be here. She's right here. Let me show you.
Yes, let us see her.
Let me see if I can flip the camera. Y'all gotta excuse me, y'all. This technology stuff is beyond me. You understand? Say shalom. Do y'all see her? Say shalom. Shalom. You wave? Yeah, and I have my beautiful sister Charisse here too. Yes, I got the earphones there. Yeah.
The bottom is a little long.
The squeezing part is on the down button.
Let's see. Oh. Can you hear us okay, sis?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Let me put it on
speaker. There we go.
It's a little low. Okay, let's see if that works.
Do I need to cut my volume up?
No, let's get
it's Yanni phone.
Okay. I'm outside, so it may be mine too. Let me know.
Shalom, sis. Shalom.
Shalom. So how's the day been treating you all?
For taking time out of your schedule to do this with us, and I know that whatever we talk about today is definitely going to be beneficial to a lot of sisters in this chat. So all praises.
All praises to the Most High. Is definitely my pleasure. I appreciate you beautiful ladies for having me. This is definitely a topic that needs to be talked about, not only in the Hebraic community, but just all the way around. We need to talk about these things. So I appreciate you all.
All praises.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, sis. Let the sisters who don't know you, the sisters who know you but may not know you, let us know a little bit about yourself.
Yes, ma'am. So shalom, peace, love, and light, everyone who's on this live. I am your sister, Demike. If you all are not following me on Facebook, my name on Facebook is Demike. On Instagram is Freebrew Deboria. And so, yeah, I'm just a sister who's all about sisterhood and trying my best to be my best. And so, with that being said, as some of you all may know or may not know, I just recently became certified as a doula. But the Spirit had already ordained me to be able to help our sisters in this area. The Most High has allowed for my husband and I to deliver 3 successful home births, and even with that being said, the experience alone has taught me and showed me, like, okay, yeah, we definitely need this for our community. Our sisters need to be educated, supported, helped, loved, and understood, and just basically heal from the trauma that these hospitals and other people who take control of our mind and bodies has been doing to us, and then also self-inflicted as well. So I just want to be able to share what it is that the Ruach HaKodesh, to set apart, the Holy Spirit, has allowed for me to encounter and come into the knowledge of thus far.
I'll praise it. I'll praise it, sis. And there's a lot of different feelings around, natural childbirth and doula services, and the whole goal here is to really educate,
right?
Because I have seen where, some people think they can just jump into it and say, hey, I want to deliver a baby at home, so I'm just going to start delivering babies. But you actually have just gone through a journey of getting your certification. So can you kind of shed light on why that's important and why it's important to have that type of certification?
Well, let me, from my perspective, I was one of those people that just kind of jumped in there and was like, I want to have a baby naturally. And the reason why in 2017 was because with my first pregnancy, I realized that, I dealt with postpartum depression and didn't know it. I wasn't taught at the hospital by a lactation specialist to breastfeed. I was actually at home one day and my breasts were like super swole. And my son's father, I was just sitting down. I was like, I wonder what's going on. And milk started coming out. I was like, I wonder what he drink this milk. So it was all kind of like self-taught, And then I realized that I did most of my labor at home when I was pregnant with my firstborn, Jacob. So by the time I got to the hospital, I was 8 centimeters dilated because I was waiting on like the big boom from all the pregnancy stories, and nothing happened. So once I got there, they put me on Pitocin. I totally panicked. They were just being so overwhelming with trying to force me to get an epidural. And so I just gave in because I'm like, okay, at this point, I can't even think for myself, which really, they slowed down my process. I didn't even have him until 6 hours later, and I was already 8 centimeters dilated. So that caused a really big disconnect between me bonding with my baby and just the lack of the knowledge that I just didn't have at the time. So to the mothers who are trying to dive in and say, hey, I want to have a baby natural, because of their experience, or they may be a first-time mom who just want to experience things the natural way, our God-given right, then it's okay. It's definitely okay. But as for the preparation part, let me tell y'all, I was watching all type of YouTube videos, Instagram videos, and everything, trying to educate myself, my husband and I, like, this how the baby gonna come out, this how it's gonna be done, like prepping ourselves for this. And that's what we did. We had no certification. We had nothing but the Holy Spirit and the Most High God guiding us, literally, because your body can do these things. You just have to have a made-up mind, be in tune with your spirit, so that you can ground yourself and understand the difference between what's natural. And that is where we have to get in tune with, and that's what our sisters need to learn. And I'm here to educate them on how to do that if this is the route you want to go. And say you just want to go into the hospital because you're not sure of yourself or you doubt your body. Okay, that's fine. Let me help you educate on these different alternatives that you may have in the hospital that they're just not going to tell you, simply because of things like your skin color and the system that's set up against you in the hospital and in America, period.
That's a really good point, sis. That's a really good point. So you mentioned that this has been kind of like a before you went full fledged into the doula services. You kind of did it mostly just by learning,
Right.
at home.
Right. Just literally, I'm going to be honest with you. You can watch all these videos and learn as much as possible. And the knowledge is great because it'll come in due season. But the main part that I think we fail to remember is that we are spiritual people. So if you're not in line and being protective and understand that this is a sacred journey and that the womb literally means matrix, that's what it means. That when you're bringing these children through the matrix, you got to understand the environment, the tone, how to eat, just how to get in tune, how to listen to your body when she tells you to relax, get some rest. We may have a long day tomorrow, or it's time to exercise so the baby won't stick to you. Drink more water. So it's a journey, but the education is definitely there, and that's where I come into. But what made me get certified is because I would have so many different sisters to reach out to me for information and education. And I'm like super excited, like, oh, they're going to let me deliver their baby, like blah, blah, blah. But they were still kind of unsure. And so I get it. We live in a society where we're having to be retaught all of these new things. So it's kind of like going against the normal. And so you want to know that people know what they're talking about, even though they've seen my children. They're healthy. They're non-vaccinated. They're all home birth. But I get it because this is bigger than me. And there's some things that I just didn't know when it came down to birthing, and I didn't have the experience. So I said, you know what, Abba, I really do want to learn as much as I can because, anything could happen. Although I'm working, I'm moving off faith, I need to educate myself as well because he gives us these tools to do these things.
All praises. All praises.
Well, I just want to say that, like, what you're doing, I think, is awesome because for sisters that are thinking about having babies, planning on having babies, pregnant at the moment, they need this type of education, knowledge, because you're right, it is a whole enemy against us that's in that hospital that's telling us the I've been through it with my kids, but it's a live and learn lesson, as you know.
All praises.
They want to sterilize our women, sterilize our men, our kids to be, sick, where there be something simple as sickle cell, or if you haven't noticed, a lot of our kids are getting cerebral palsy. It's a lot of things going on. And it has a lot to do with the treatment that we're getting in there and the way that they're taking care of us in there. So if any sister is watching this, I hope that you're really taking heed to what she's saying, because natural, home-wise, your own people is the best way to go because they're attacking our children.
Right. I totally agree with you. And just to let me back off what you said, this is a statistics that I wrote down. If it's okay, I wanted to share it with you, sisters. So this is the American Diabetes Association's 80th scientific session that they highlighted off of one of their websites. And it says, striking racial disparities in maternal mortality, morbidity, and infant health. Now, let's go over here because a lot of people may not know what these words are. So let's break down morbidity. Morbidity is the condition of suffering from a disease or medical condition, the state of being unhealthy for a particular disease or situation. And mortality is the number of deaths that occur in a population. So let's finish reading this article. It says, striking racial disparities in maternal mortality, morbidity, and infant health, non-Hispanic Black women are also significantly more likely to have a severe maternal morbidity event at the time of delivery. Over the past 20 years, cases have increased by over 200%, which is 2.1 times greater than that of white women. So what does that mean for us as women, as sisters? So if we understand this and read that this is a statistic that they have formulated and put together through American Diabetes Association. So that means that they've actually looked into the numbers of this that is going on in a systematic way against our bodies, our wombs, and our babies. So if that's non-Hispanic, that means this goes for only the so-called Black woman and her baby in America, this is just on a whole nother level, to the point to where you mean to tell me if I'm in the care of a hospital or a situation, and if I don't know certain things about my insurance, my nurse, my doctor, the service that I could have, or certain interventions that we may need, I will get the worst service just because the system is already set up that way. No, let's take this back and let's educate ourselves, because what they don't want you to do is question. I personally, I would prefer home births and more intimate births. That's my preference. But I'm here to support moms who may not be there in spirit yet, but they want to have their doula or midwife to come into the hospital with them. You can ask me questions, and if I don't know it, I'm going to look it up. And if not, I'm going to call my teacher. Hey, what does she need to do? They're trying to make her go through this process, this situation. And then you can't be afraid to go in there and ask them these questions. One thing I've learned is that if you have a certain type of insurance, depending on the plan that you pick, whether it's through the government system or through your job or your husband's job, if you want to have a water birth, you can do that. You just make sure you pick that insurance that's going to cover it, because the cheaper or worse your insurance is, they're going to kick you out that hospital, whether you got a C-section, stage, whatever the case may be, they're going to kick you out. But say you got a good insurance, that gives you a little bit more leeway. Even with the vaccines that they give you, they're all
No. It was so good. It was
Wait a
so
minute.
good.
She may have lost connection, guys.
We're gonna give her a second to
Give
get
her a
back.
second. Y'all go ahead and put your questions in. There are a lot of sisters who are expecting right now, and there are a lot of sisters who are projecting to be expecting. They're looking to have, children. So this is the time now. And again, sister says she don't know everything, but she do know what she knows, and she's here to share it with you. So go ahead and drop them questions in the chat, because we will be asking. I have seen where some sisters are saying, a sister said she's pregnant with twins now. And and they're telling her it's dangerous to have a home birth. So we're gonna get some information from Sister Mike when she returns on that subject as well. So thank you for y'all patience. Let me actually, you know what, y'all, stay tuned right there. Don't go anywhere. Can we pause a little bit and we can hook up not finish, but pause. Oh,
They're pausing up there.
Oh, is it like you pause it? Y'all, we old. I know we don't look like it, but I was gonna hook the what you look now?
Oh, you looking for your Bluetooth?
Yeah.
Oh.
It does this now.
Okay.
What don't mine do? It puts the live in a corner.
Oh, when we pause it?
No, I'm down on mine.
Like if you go out of it, is what she's saying. They'll put it in the corner.
Oh, okay, all right. Swipe up.
Put it on.
All right, y'all. Swipe it back up, sir.
Don't move a muscle, B. This is getting nice. We're getting a lot of nuggets today, sisters.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for y'all patience. Thank you, thank you.
Look how you were stuck, though.
I know.
Oh, and we laughed. Oh, Lord, Jesus.
Let's see. Is she coming back? Okay, it says
She just joined, so she's gonna request it in a minute.
Shalom, sis, Denisha.
I mean, she has some beautiful babies there.
Yeah, little princesses.
Yeah. Sister Silver, Sister Iggy.
Yay.
We miss you, Sissy.
Okay, Sister Mika says she joined, she requested. We haven't seen the request just yet, sis.
In a common room.
We still waiting. Okay, we get some questions in this chat for you too, sis. So we ready for you.
Some good ones.
Try to join again.
If not, it was a way to request too. I forgot.
Is
that plus button at the bottom?
Mm-hmm. What the plus sign say?
If you click on the plus, what is that? Oh no.
Oh,
Yeah. It was last time. Oh, the one beside the chat bubble.
I think I see some.
Beside the chat bubble?
Oh, right.
Yeah. Click on that.
Oh, there you go. Boom. There we go. All praises.
Shalom. Right. I said, boy, they don't want this information getting out, huh? All praises to the Most High. Okay, so yeah, where were we? I'm sorry.
Statistics, and then you were breaking it down. And
Right,
we were
right.
getting towards the end of that part, and then that's when it went down.
Right. Yeah. So basically, just like what I was saying, what does that mean for us? Again, my preference is home birth, so we can be in our own level of comfortability, so we can try to understand what our body is doing.
Oh,
And did it freeze again?
it's freezing again. Oh, there we go.
Who will help you ask these questions or even give you this knowledge. So I just encourage all of our sisters to look these things up for yourself. And if you need help with doulas in your city and state, like I've actually reached out to two doulas, and one, her name is Stephanie Samiago, and she has a website called doulatribe.org. And this is my sis. I love her and her family. She's in Maryland. So I have her information. Then I have another sister. She's on Instagram called Chat with Gia on Instagram, and she has birthandbabyhebrews.com. And also my teacher is Amika Lockett for those who are trying to be certified for a doula nationwide. I have this information and these references to be able to help our sisters as well. Because say I'm not available, you have sisters in your state and women in your state who are willing to give you this education, even through your insurance. Like they have now the National Black Doulas Association. I'm a part of that association. That's like a registry for midwives and doulas, specifically for women of color. So this information is out there. You just have to take hold to it and just use it to the best of your ability via in the hospital or home. You do have options and you have rights.
All right, well, before we get to the questions, I want to start off with the question. I know a little bit about doulas. I know that they help you while you're pregnant and while giving birth. But for other sisters that may want to know this information as well, like, do you guys help for those that are trying to conceive and then after the birth as well?
Right. So there's they have so many different type of doulas, but to explain to you, a doula is just simply someone who helps you with your labor and postpartum or whatever area of expertise they're in. So for me, I'm a doula that's in labor and postpartum. Postpartum is specifically my passion because we just need that. Sisters need sisters. We need that village back. We can definitely help one another from committing suicide, from just being overworked, overbearing, healing from trauma, and being delivered, and just the assistance of, like getting a nap or washing the dishes, however that case may go. But they do have fertility doulas. I've seen fertility doulas, their portfolio on these different sites that I just mentioned, such as the National Black Doulas Association. You have women who are into fertility. They've looked up the herbs and studied them to help women who are trying to get pregnant. And then you have the women who don't mind coming to appointments with you and even walking you through your birthing plan and assisting you. We're supposed to give you that mental, physical, spiritual support and all of the knowledge that we have. That is what the doula does. They educate you and they support you. So if you get a doula that you just don't vibe with, it's okay. Move with the spirit. Go find another one, because this is your body, your temple, and your baby. You want to be comfortable. You have that right. So there's a vast variety of doulas who just work in the area of expertise that they feel comfortable with.
All praises, sis. And I think, well, the first thing I want to say is that you mentioned a few sisters who are also in doula services that you know dearly. What is the importance of building? Because a lot of times, you know, in Israel, we kind of start thinking like, oh, I'm doing this, you know, I am doing it. You can do something else, but I'm doing it. But specifically when we're talking about health and, you know, a number of things, you can't get enough sisters to know. You know, I mean, we need overflow. So can you just express the importance of having this information and also encouraging other sisters who are passionate about it to, you know, to go forth in their lane?
Yeah, most definitely. Oh my gosh, we're such at a dire need for it right now. Like the independent mentality, it just has to go. I mean, it just has to go. Like you hear sayings from back in the day where it takes a village to raise a child, and then from a Hebraic standpoint, we read about our sisters who were giving birth and say, like Rachel, when she was giving birth to Benjamin and she died along the journey, walking after giving birth, she had her midwife Deborah there with her. Do you think that she was thinking about in her last dying breath, like, is she gonna take care of my baby? Is she gonna do? No, she had to get that baby out of there, and Deborah took forth her part and did what she did. She needed that support because she knew that she was about to pass after having Benjamin. You know, like we have to understand that we, as a nation of people, we've moved together, we've helped each other. Sisters need sisters, people need people. And what I've realized is that we put so much pressure on our husbands, even in this knowledge that we've come into. It's like we still I see sisters still kind of boast about this independent mindset, and then they want to compare it to a Proverbs 31 woman, right? But when we look at the Proverbs 31 woman, she took care of her whole village, her whole tribe. Her hands were busy. Her handmaids, they were good. You get what I'm saying? Everybody was taken care of. You don't think they was taking care of her back to receive that? It's all reciprocated. But guess what? Even if they wasn't, she was trying her best to be her best. That's where we put on this Christ-like spirit, to where we understand that we're all servants. I'm just a servant, sis. If I can help, I'm down. If it's educating you or helping with your tribe, your children. I'm a married woman with 4 children that I birthed and 1 inherited, so 5 together. I will pick up my bags in a second if I have the time and my husband say, okay, cool, and go help my sisters because I've done it. Yeah. But the importance of sisterhood is so important, to the point to where if we really walking it out, because with my business, what I'm doing, what the Most High has placed upon my spirit, with this postpartum wing that I'm trying to trying to make manifest Most High will, is that we need to be able to help each other understand the importance of building a team and going back to the days of old. Yeah. We have these instructions that were given to us, and if we fully believe in this, why aren't we walking in this to the best of our abilities? And we have to put our best foot forward to do that, because think about our separation time, the woman's time of uncleanness. If you had your sister there helping you, and you had midwives and doulas, or just your tribe of women, then you wouldn't even be clicking out on your husband or expecting him to understand the emotional nature that he just don't have it to get. You know, certain men, depending on how mature they are in tune with the spirit, they may understand it, but not to its fullness. So therefore, you need a woman just like you, got the same emotions and things that have been through that, probably 10 times worse trauma, whatever the situation may be. and that has been delivered, healed, and that can help you in this area and don't mind helping, not even looking for anything in return, but just to be a good servant. Because the way that I want to have my babies and wish that I've had the help, and I thank y'all for the help that I did have, I want my sisters to have it too. So if we don't put on that mentality, I'm not going to say I'm going to be stuck, but they're going to be stuck, sis. Because at the end of the day, it's like we got to do what we got to do. We living in a time to where you see statistics are so high. We got this whole enemy up against us. And y'all want to play like this? Oh, no, I ain't got time.
At time at all. And you know what? I challenge each sister on this live today. If you know a sister that's pregnant, that is expecting, one thing when Kanai, she kind of brought the She Sisters together, and we, came and she was formed. We kind of discussed. We had a sister, Sister Garvey, and she has a little nephew now, but at the time she was pregnant with him. And I kind of revealed to my sisters that the camp that I left, we had a process to where whenever a sister would have a baby, we would come to their house for a week or 2 weeks straight, and sisters would take turns washing dishes, cleaning up, cooking or ordering dinner, trying to take that load off of the woman to kind of, like she said, counteract that postpartum. So what I'm basically asking these sisters on this live, if you don't mind, if you happen to know a sister, because like she said, we have to start somewhere, right? If you know a sister who's pregnant, expecting, about to deliver, be there for your sister. Call and check up on her. After she gives birth to the baby, go help her out. I don't care if she says,
Right.
Go there, wash a dish, take out the trash, do something,
Right, right. Yeah, it's definitely appreciated. I'm telling you, I've been that sister that's been helped, and I've also been that sister that was received the help. And a lot of time, that's why I say it's spiritual, because we've been so hurt and neglected and traumatized as a nation of people and women, to the point to where a lot of our sisters, they're not even open to receiving help because of that independent mindset, or my family or me and my husband. Like, yes, you should. So you have to be in a receiving space as well, and and that's where that's what I implement in my care. Like, that's how I know if I'm a good fit for you and your family, because I need for you to receive this help. I'm coming with, to the best of my ability, to try to ask the Most High for healing, because this is a delicate thing when you have a baby. So you gotta really have trust and bond and build that, and that's why when women search for doulas and midwives, you should really start in the beginning of your pregnancy. Even find somebody that may match your spirit, have the same beliefs as you. Because one thing my teacher taught me, she said, you have the right to turn a family down and just refer them to somebody else. Because if the spirit don't match, how you gonna go to their house and wash their dishes and help you in? And it's chaos, it's conflict.
Don't bring that up to him.
Yeah, she said, you don't even know, this is gonna drain you. And I knew it was serious because Abba Yah had allowed me to do my first birth the baby through, like how we're on live, birth the baby through Duo. So the sister was in the birthing pool, and every time she had a contraction, it was like my womb was going, I was feeling it too. I said, "Woo, this is spiritual." So I was telling her, I said, "Okay, it's time to get that baby out. Let's get the baby out." So her husband was helping, and she had hemorrhage a little bit, and we got that baby out of there. The spirit let me know she was holding back on pushing. That's why she hemorrhaged. So once I was able to see that, and I said, "Oh no, this next push with this contraction, you got to get that baby out of there." And I told the dad, like, this is how I need for you to help. Once that next contraction came on, I said, "Push, you can do this." I asked him, "What do you see?" He said, "I see the head." I said, "All right, all praises." The head got out of there. We got that baby. She was in distress. The baby was in distress. But here it is months later. I think the baby is 3 months now. And he's beautiful. Everything is beautiful. But I said all that to say that we really need to understand how much we need each other and to help each other, because this is very deep. This is a life and death situation, and if you're not in a receiving spirit or even have it to give, then this is not the lane for you. You know what I'm saying? So definitely take your time and pray and meditate for those who are looking to become a doula, a midwife, and make sure that your intentions are pure and your heart is in the right place.
All right. Since you just even with what you just said, you touched on the spiritualness of it. Can you elaborate a little bit more on just that connection, that bond of having a child via natural birth? And we understand that that's not for everybody, right?
Right,
So
right.
I don't want sisters to think that we're knocking whatever your preference is, but there is a spiritualness that you just touched on. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more and how you encourage sisters to tap into that spiritual connection to the Most High during the birthing process?
Right. So normally, all praises to the Most High, the ladies that I've been.
Oh, when she get into the juice,
I
to the
know.
meat, boy. That,
Face right.
right? Thank you all for bearing with us. It's been a little bit, just slight technical difficulties, but we're gonna get her back up here.
We'll get her back. Let's see. Sis, go back to that. Let's see if she requested. Yeah, there we go. All right, she already requested. Okay, so we know how to do this thing.
Okay, y'all, this thing keep going out.
Best thing, and we just go push it to the side, go on out of here.
Right. All praises, all praises. That's how you know you're doing the work. This is beautiful. I love it. Yeah, so normally what I would do, like I was saying, the 2 women that I've been able to help aside from the 3 that the Most High allowed for me and my husband to bring forth, they had the same understanding as I. And I realized how important that was because in certain cultures, when they pick their doula, they pick it normally because of their spirituality or their religious belief. And so when it comes down to the understanding that I have and those sisters, I just let them know, like, hey, everything I do is literally faith-based, and this is how I go about doing this. So if you believe that you can have this baby naturally and you got it set in your mind and you're ready to understand just the process of childbirth through the instructions that the Most High has given us, then you're going to be okay, because that's the only person, the spirit, that's going to be able to help bring you through. Every time I have a baby, I'll be like, Father, you said that a woman shall be saved doing childbearing. Save me, please, save. That's what gets me through. You know what I'm saying? So, that's all I got is the spirit. So I see where they are, and if that's where, they're in their spirit. And I have to ask them, like, are you holding anything in? What is it do you have any trauma that's causing you not to, how do you feel about this pregnancy? I try to get intimate to see what's on their spirit, because it'll let me know if the baby's in distress, if the body's in distress, if you may even be able to have this baby at home, depending on your living situations. So it's all spiritual. Even the way that you eat and how much you eat, if you're
that part.
Yeah, it's a lot. So when we realize our temple is so delicate and that we are spiritual people and we allow for ourselves to tap in, the spirit would definitely tell us what to do and how to move. We just have to be receptive to it. So if they're receptive to it, and even if they're just new and just want to learn my way and my style of doing things, that not even my way, but that was given to me by the Most High God, and if they're open to it, I'm gonna be the light and do what I do. And so I see there's a couple of questions on here. Are we answering it as we go, or how does that work?
She going through them now.
And I actually want to scroll up. It's like 74 comments. So
okay.
I wanted to start from the beginning because I saw this. Well, before I do, I seen that you post we see you post. This is your website, right, sis? So if it is
birthing.
Yes. Go ahead, sis.
So. Okay, I post birthingbabybrews.com. That's her sister Gia. Gia, chat with Gia. That's her website. She's a doula, and she's in I'm not sure the city or state. And then I posted doulatribe.org. These are just other women's and other references. And then I posted Bloom and Lotus Service, who I got certified through, which the certification is nationwide. So depending on the city and state, her name is Zamika Lockett. She was the teacher, just for reference purposes. With my website right now, and I was speaking to Kanawid about it earlier, about should I integrate it on one of the business that I already have. So I just recently received my certification in the mail, and then I also got certified for a notary to be able to help notarize these birth affidavits for our women. I just received all of this, and I'm in the process now of going through my paperwork, making sure that I have everything that I need to be successful and to be able to help you all to the best of my capabilities. So my paperwork and things, as well as the website, is in the working right now. I don't just want to throw anything together because there's a system of what I'm trying to do. And so with that, I've teamed up with the Juice Foundation in Memphis, Tennessee. My colleague, Brittany Thornton, she has that going on. It's a single mom's entrepreneurship program, and she's working with me on several things. And I also have my trainer, Zamika Lockett, who sent me doula contracts, and so I'll have to go back in and critique them to my liking. So once I'm done with all of that, then I'll have the website up. But I do have my personal email for my doula services, which is Serenity Doula and Postpartum Services. So I'll put that in the link as well.
Yes. Okay.
As of right now, I'm not receiving. Yeah, as of right now, I'm not accepting any clients. I'm kind of just being the voice of reference and help. And if I can't help, I will. So I think maybe like within the next 2 weeks or so, I should have had the website established, and then to see which way I would go as far as accepting clients, because I have a lot of women who reach out to me from out of town. And so I'm really trying to figure out that segment of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I want to be able to help
it. Having a reference or a referral option to where sisters can have that link. They come on your website and they like, oh, okay,
right,
you in Tennessee? Well, sister, I'm in Texas, and you know what I'm saying, I can see you referring sisters to the appropriate places. And then also when the website is up and going, you know, definitely let us know. You know, we up to post and share, and because that's how we're gonna make sure we debunk that independent mindset and continue to give sisters options, because it's all about having options. If you want to go this route, if you don't, fine, but you do have options to be more educated on it.
I definitely agree with you, and I also have a GoFundMe that's up right now. I'll drop it in the link. Okay. So what I'm working on now is a postpartum wing on some land that I own, and again, I have a lot of paperwork that I'm doing, but right now we're trying to come up with the construction of it, and that's one thing that I want to be able to incorporate. So for those women who have the time and the ability to be able to come to the postpartum wing, they'll be able to get the service that they need.
Make sure you drop that in the chat as well, so sisters can support. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Most definitely. I definitely will.
So we're gonna get into some questions real quick.
Okay.
We have a few. So.
Okay.
You want to start from the top, or you can start?
Oh, you gotta.
Previous comment.
Yeah. Okay.
So a sister did mention. They mentioned the vaccines, right? Really briefly, what advice would you give to sisters who may, you know, be struggling with verbalizing, right, how they feel about certain vaccines and things like that? And also, how would a doula being there, how would that help?
Well, so depending on what state you're in, each state has its own rules and regulations when it comes down to rejecting or accepting vaccinations. And so legally, they can't really tell you no not to vaccinate, but they do have forms that you would fill out and present to them, to the doctor, and or ask, and they will grant you your request. Now, will they hound you on it or try to make you feel like you're a bad mom or a bad parent? Yes, they will, because they want you to get these. But what I've learned with my own personal journey when I was living out here in LA, I refused to get my daughter the hepatitis B shot. She wasn't even, well, let's see, maybe like 2 to 3 months. I took her to get her first checkup when she was like maybe 2 months. And, you know, the pediatrician, he was just hounding me about doing it. But I already knew that, like, this is not about to go on. They called a caseworker on me and everything. Now, I tell women all the time, you have to be prepared to stand up for what you believe in. That's why your faith and spirituality is so important. So I had the documents that stated that, you know, hey, I'm not going to vaccinate. This is why, because of my specific beliefs or whatever the case may have been. And so what I did was I did get her, because they said, well, every baby's supposed to have hepatitis B. We need to know, trace, blah, blah, blah. So I said, well, we can do her blood sample, and if she has hepatitis B trace in her blood, I will go about it my way. So they took me to this laboratory. The lady did this. She did the examinations. They called me a week later. Oh, she doesn't have hepatitis B. I said, okay, all praises. So she says, well, I still suggested. I said, no, ma'am, no, thank you. There's no need. There's never a need. Why would I give her a hepatitis B shot within the 7 days? Because they have to give them that shot within the 7 days of them being born. You want to know why? Because after 7 days, which is the number of completion, the body literally the immune system is built to where it can fight off anything that is being presented to it. But if they don't get it within that 7-day period, that's why they tell you within 3 days your baby has to get these vaccinations, and then you got to bring them back within a certain time period. They don't want your children's body to fight these things off naturally. And on top of that, I'm not about to give my baby no hepatitis B shot that already has a dosage of hepatitis B in it. That's poisonous to me. Like, it just don't make sense. This is a perfectly pure temple. Why would I distort it or do anything to it that I don't have to? So yeah, you do have rights. Look up your state rights. Get familiar with it. Let me tell you, it's all about paperwork. It's loopholes and paperwork. It's not so much as loophole, but once you educate yourself, it's all about the paperwork. That's all they care about. But you have doulas that are supposed to know these things, and if they don't, they will ask, and they'll educate you on it. And if they can give you the paperwork, then you'll have the paperwork to show them, so you're not afraid. But say they try to take you and put a case on you like how they did me. You got to stand up for what you believe in. This was a doctor who came with all of her degrees and everything. So it's just little old me, and I'm letting her know, no, ma'am, no, thank you. And so the caseworker, when she closed my case out, she was like, you really have given me a new perspective. And she said, I'm looking at your children. They're so healthy. She was asking me, like, what is it that you believe in? You know, who is your God? And this was in 2017. She closed my case out, and she checked up on me. And I'm just like, all praises, you know, so you have to really stand firm in what it is that you believe.
All right, we have another question from the chat. A sister is having twins, and like you say, stand firm on what you believe in. She wants to have an at-home birth, but the doctors are telling her that it's too dangerous. What would you say in that instance?
So first, I would really want to know, why are they telling her that it's too dangerous? How was her past pregnancies? If she's ever had them, was she considered high risk? You know, does she have any health issues going on right now? Because you need to know why they're saying these things. Can they prove to you why they are saying this? One thing I've realized is that if you are to get with a midwives professionally, they can deliver the baby or babies. So if she's looking to see what are her options, she should definitely ask the doctor why. Write these things down. You know, if you have pre-existing conditions, you want to be able to know the health. I will have to know, like, what's going on with her health, her track record, and why they're saying these things. But most importantly, she needs to understand why, so that it can make sense with her. Oh, nothing other than my age. I'm 42. Okay, so 42, you're considered high risk. So that's the why. You're considered high risk. I think they put us in a high risk zone at 37 or 36 is the age. So you're considered, you will be considered high risk to them, just statistically, because of the new things that are going about with these babies. And then if you're in perfect health or not. We would have to know how you eat, drink, sleep, just pretty much your day-to-day life. But you could still see what your options are, reaching out to a doula or a midwife to see how can they assist you so that the birth can go natural, maybe even in the hospital. Or if you can get a midwife that would take your case home. Like, see if there's a midwife who won't mind coming to your home and helping with this delivery. Me personally, I haven't dealt with twins, So, and that's just an awaiting experience. I can't really speak on anything that I haven't experienced. That's why I would have to give you a reference to someone who has that experience under their belt.
Okay. Now, somebody did ask, well, can I specifically ask, is there a certain diet and a lifestyle that a sister may want to take on? Or we'll say, is there a certain diet that a sister may want to take on if she knows for sure she wants to do a natural birth? Are there some things she needs to start doing?
Yeah. So when it comes to that, the diet aspect, basically it's like, you are what you eat, so to speak. And one thing that I've noticed is that I'm my best when I'm just eating my best. Say I'm overweight and I want to have a baby, or I'm just vitamin D deficient or lacking minerals and nutrition. You got to think about, how am I going to carry this baby in my body for 10 months? Because they don't count the month of conception. How am I going to care for my body? Am I caring for my body now? You first have to drink a lot of water. I would definitely recommend that if the sisters could cut off red meat, that would be an amazing thing, because it will help with the digestive system, and it'll help you hormonally as well. It's always great to have exercise and be kind of in a healthy position or standpoint, so to speak, because the reason why these statistics are as high as they are with us is because they look at our environments and our health. A lot of us have like type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, so they say, oh, they ain't gonna make it no way. You know what I'm saying? They don't even take care of themselves. All they eat is fast food and junk food. So, right. So they automatically place us in this category due to this, systematic statistic that's been placed up against us anyway. So with that being said, we have to really just do the opposite and be the opposite. I do believe in doing all things in moderation, because like I'm in LA right now and I haven't had an In-N-Out burger in years. But guess what? I had an In-N-Out burger with my son and his friends yesterday, and I enjoyed it. I mean, although I've detoxed all day today, but it's just definitely about moderation and getting in tune with your body and just wanting to have a healthier state of mind so you can tap in.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, sis. Did you have some final questions?
No, I think I'm actually good.
I think Kanai got another question on
No,
here.
this is about.
Okay.
Can you ask her, like, who would not be a good candidate to have a home birth?
That's a really good question. So, who would, just from your understanding, who would you say, or who would not be a great candidate for home birth?
Yeah, and this is definitely this is a topic that I just recently had to speak with a sister about this. So basically, if you're in if you're in a state of depression while you're pregnant, or going through something while you're pregnant, or just not your healthiest self and not even trying, or in maybe a mentally abusive relationship, or abusively, things that just really take you to your low and you feel your low, you would not be the potential candidate to have a baby at home, because you would bring that baby into this distress. Now, I think it's even worse when you take it all to the hospital, because they really don't care about your well-being, but they try their best to do their best. We will hope that, you get what I'm saying, for that sister in their case. But I recently had to turn down my dear sister because of the home relationship. It's just not up to par, and I suggested to her, I would highly recommend for you to have this baby at home, and then just have the midwife down there to come and assist you. And if I can come to the hospital for your support, I will, but I wouldn't even recommend you having this baby at home, because the home lifestyle is not up to par. You're stressed basically the whole pregnancy, and then you want me to come in and try to help this stressed baby come out, and you're gonna be in so much pain and hurt. Like, the baby it's just gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard labor, and I wouldn't want to put myself through it, or any other woman, because that's a delicate situation to be in.
That makes sense.
So, I mean, we know what we go through. That's why it's definitely a renewal of the spirit and the mind, and just, you just got to be tapped in for real.
Yeah. Well, sis, we definitely appreciate you have. I don't have no kids yet, but I know I feel better knowing that I have a
praises.
close sister that
All
can
praise.
put me on game. And I hope sisters have been taking this information. A few sisters did know, but you also dropped it. So some sisters were asking for the certification information, but if I'm understanding, you did drop that, right? You already dropped it.
I did. It's bloominglotus.com, and then her name on Facebook is Zamika Lockett. So I did drop that in there.
Okay.
I think I put. Let me type this down. National, for reference sakes.
And we will be leaving this up. So this video will be available on in the SheListens group. We're gonna leave it exclusively in the SheListens group, and then we will post it over later on, maybe next week. It'll be posted because we want sisters to get it first in this chat. That's the whole point of us having the SheListens chat. And then later on next week, we'll post it over on the YouTube page so that other sisters will have the option to see it as well.
Correct. And I'm going to put my email down as well.
Okay.
It's SDPS, which is Serenity Doula Postpartum Services @gmail.com. And I'm also...
Put your GoFundMe too, sis.
Oh, sis, you dropped out. Put your GoFundMe too, sis. Go back to what I said now. She didn't request back. Wait a minute. Let's see if she's going to request back. Okay. Well, since you don't necessarily have to request back, but make sure you put your GoFundMe information as well. So you're dropping your email and your GoFundMe information. We hope y'all have enjoyed this episode.
I know I have. I wish I would have met sis when my kids were younger. But there she go. All praise.
There she go.
But you all can take advantage of all of
yes, ma'am. So I put the GoFundMe. Let me put I put my email, but I don't think this is my personal email, my business email for Serenity Doula and Postpartum Services. And did it go through?
Is it coming up?
Let me see. Hold on, because I'm still writing.
It may just
and then I'm gonna put.
Sis Couture had a question. What does Sis Couture say?
I tell her I had sent her a message.
Such good information. All praises.
Couture, yes.
A sister is saying it's good information, man. All praises to the Most High, sis. And it looked like you are enjoying that good LA weather. We're going to let you go. So you can enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, sis. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Y'all have a blessed one. I will. Thank you. Shalom.
Shalom. All right. So, yeah, we're going to leave it up. And did you have anything else you want to add before we end and wrap it up?
I just really hope y'all grab that information. Yeah. I mean, everything that she said was on point. Like Yanni said, we know that everybody doesn't agree with natural. It might not be that you don't agree. It just may not be for you. Yeah. But for those who are thinking about it, have a little inkling, a little light,
that's right.
Just need more information, here you go.
There you go. And we're going to be dropping other topics too. So make sure you email what is it? She's Secretary. She's Secretary. We got like 50 million emails.
Yeah.
She's Secretary @gmail.com. We would like your questions so we can keep topics like this. So we get into some things. We trying to really heat up and really bring information and topics that are, beneficial for women, for us.
For sure.
So
next month, I don't want to spill the beans yet, but next month is going to be just as fiery, if not more fiery as this one.
Yeah.
We started off small.
But
we big in that. We got our shovels, we got our bricks. We building this foundation. So get ready.
Get ready, y'all. So we're going to go ahead and end this thing. Peace and blessings to y'all. And again, if you if you caught it on the back end or if you jumped in at the last minute, don't worry, because again, it will be left up in the chat here. So peace and blessings, y'all.
Shalom.
Shalom.